Sauce, can you comment on what you think is amazing or unamazing about Rodgers coming back after 79 days?
It's a blessing to be able to have him back around us. You know what I mean? Always good to have him. You know, as long as he good, when I'm good and we good. But I heard that's something that never happened before, so that is pretty incredible. But I ain't surprised when it come to him. He always one of those guys that just gonna make sure he take care of his rehab. Always gonna put that work in. So I'm not surprised.
Is there a message here about the commitment that somebody makes to a team?
Pardon me, say one more time.
Is there a commitment that you feel like? Is there a message about someone's commitment to come back and rejoin his team?
I mean, he was committed before that. You know what I'm saying? So that just adds on to it. This just adds on to it.
Do you have a suggestion whether he should or shouldn't play?
If he healthy, then he could do what he want to do. If he not, then I don't think that's the right thing to do.
So it's for you guys to realistically talk about making the playoffs. You pretty much have to run the table and win out. You guys think that's possible?
Yeah, we feel like anything possible. You know what I'm saying? We gotta make sure we take it one day at a time, 1 week at a time.
But after the game, it sounded like the last game. It sounded like you, Garrett, Brees, a lot of guys who are the best young players on this team were really frustrated. How do you move on from that? Or is letting that frustration soak in a good thing?
I do get frustrated, in life in general, but nothing's gonna stop me from going out there on the field and just giving it everything I got. You know what I mean? I don't feel like no frustration that I have is gonna carry on to the field or to the meet room or to the locker room. You know what I mean?
What do you see from Atlanta's offense?
They look pretty good. They got Dez at quarterback, my college quarterback. So it's good to just be able to share the field with him. Looking forward to the challenge. They got a lot of good offensive weapons, running backs, receivers, tight ends, like I said, quarterbacks. They O-line pretty good, so they got guys all around, and their defense is pretty good as well. So.
What's your relationship like with Des now? Do you guys still text?
Yeah, we be texting here and there for sure. That was my guy when I was in college, so that's a bond that's gonna last forever.
Coach was talking about you needed to get more grimy yards, and I know that's kind of a process a lot of young running backs go through. I remember hearing that with Saquon early in his career. How difficult is that to make sure you're settling for 4-yard runs?
Not difficult at all. I just took it as it's one of those things. Like if you're not able to call out your best players on offense, then you can't really call out anybody. So, and I said it in the last week. I take pride in being an A player. So if I get called out, you can't get in your feelings about it, or you can't, be sad about it. It just is what it is. You got to be better, and like you said, just take the grimy yards when they're given.
Is that something that you feel you need to get better at?
Yes and no. I feel like every back probably has some yards that they left out there that they wish they could have, run that they wish they could have back and little stuff like that, and I do. But I'm going out there every week trying to play my best, trying to put us in a position to win. So it just is what it is.
Is a 4-yard run a good thing?
Yeah, it's always because if you average 4 yards a carry, 4.8, and then the next 4 yards are first down, so you can't ever complain about that at all.
What's it been like having Aaron back? What kind of impact is he having on you guys?
Yeah, it's been cool. He's my locker mate, and then at the stadium, his locker's right next to mine, so we talk a lot. And it's been good just to have him back. He's kind of not taking the back seat, but he's not playing right now, so he's kind of letting Tim do his thing, and he has his little inputs here and there. But it's just been good to have him back and hear him talk a little bit, and to have him around the guys.
You said after the game you were pressing. Hackett just said he's pressing. I assume most guys are pressing. How do you battle that internal want to do more versus do what's best?
It's hard, especially when the potential that you could have, with our great defense. and the potential that our offense has, it gets to a point where if you're not moving the ball, you're trying to make a play and everything like that. And for him, he's probably trying to make that perfect call. So it's just one of those things where you have to stay true to what you do, the foundation of the offense, and just keep chipping away at it.
Have you ever pressed like this before? College, anywhere in your career? Have you ever been in a situation where you felt you were pressing like this?
I'm sure I have. I feel like, sometimes if you don't start out the game as fast as you want to, you might start pressing. But, you just got to just continue to play the next play at the end of the day.
You seem pretty down after the game. How long did it take you to get rid of that?
I'm always down after we lose, so nobody wants to lose. But the next day, life still goes on. You still got another game to play, so just move on, watch the film, and then move on to the next opponent.
Do you guys feel like you still have the playoffs in your sights, or you feel like it's slipping away?
Yeah, I feel like we still have it in our sights. Obviously, we got to win games and stuff, but I still feel like we can still control our own destiny for sure.
Hackett said Atlanta has maybe the most aggressive corners he's seen all year. How can you flip that around and use that aggressiveness against them?
No, you definitely can. You have to have a plan to attack them. They are really aggressive. They're really handsy. They have really, two really good corners, and one of them I've got to play against a lot but in college, Okuda, my freshman year, and then AJ Terrell I've seen a few times, or one time in college as well. So watch out, bro. But they got a great group, man. So anytime you get challenged like this, you're excited. But not only a great group, the way they play really tests you, and I'm excited.
Okuda was a teammate, right?
Yeah, he was.
Salah talked about number 2 receiver, the fact that you've been predominantly the number 1 and focal point of this offense. Do you feel added pressure that there hasn't really been a consistent number 2 option for this offense?
I feel like I feel pressure for a lot of reasons, not because of I wouldn't say for that reason, just because of the lack of production on offense we've had and how, every rep, when it gets to that point, you're into week 12 and you haven't scored as many points, how every rep seems so magnified and how every, target you get seems like the one. And that's just kind of, ball. But I wouldn't say it's for that reason. I feel like we got a good group, and no one's had the production or the plays that they wanted to make this season. And that's kind of what happens when you stall on offense like we have. So hopefully these last 6 weeks we can really put it out on field so that we can really all show our true ability, because we have everything we need here. It's just about finding a way to prove it to the world.
You were distraught or out of answers after the game on Sunday. How quickly do you turn the page from that and not kind of let that ruin your week?
Yeah, you can't. In this league you can't. Otherwise you'll be finding yourself in the same boat next week. So it's always got to be this, whatever the result was, win or lose, take it all in, feel the emotions and move on. And that's how I've kind of gone about every week. And that's how I'm going to keep going about it. I feel like that gives me the best, chance to have success the following week.
Do you think you found any answers? Anything you personally can do to make a difference?
I feel like, that's always my job, is to figure out how I can do my job the best of my ability to help us reach our team's success. The reality of it is we play a position where it takes a lot of us, so we'll see what happens, man. I don't want to say anything. I can't guarantee anything, but we'll see what happens, man. I feel like we got a good shot to make something happen.
With 7 losses now, does it feel like this is kind of the playoffs have started for you guys? Like you can't afford too many more losses. You want to get to where you want to go.
Yeah, it feels like we have to win out, and that's the mindset. I feel like that's always the mindset, but it's even more amplified when you're, all of a sudden 4-7. It's been a tough stretch for us. We want to win so that we can get these bad tastes of losing out of our mouth in the first place, and once you win one, who knows what will happen. So we want to put one together this week, and every game's a big one because it's the next one, but the reality of it is we're in a tough spot and we got to dig ourselves out. So that's the goal.
How much of a motivator has it been with Aaron back at practicing a little bit this week?
Yeah, it's been cool as far as having a great football mind around the offense. And he offers a lot. He's got a lot that he brings to the table. Really cerebral and smart guy that wants to share it with the young guys. So for us, it's beneficial to have a vet like that that's seen everything and wants to help. like he does. And it's really great to have him around for the last 2 weeks. And, we never take it for granted.
Is it a motivator that if you guys are still in it, that he could return to play?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. For the next guy, it might be. Personally, I want to go about every week the same, and that's the reality in the back of our head, maybe. But, my motivation comes from wanting to be the best version of me. And, I feel like Aaron would say the same about his. So.
Did you catch any balls from him today when he was?
I didn't, my brother. I didn't, nah.
Yeah, can you and Tim build off? I don't know if it was the last drive, the touchdown drive. Can you and Tim build off anything from that going forward here?
It felt good to get in the end zone, and I know that it kind of reminded me how good and sacred it is to get in there. So for me, I'm gonna be hungry for it the whole game, and I feel like we built on something, and having that another week of practice and another week to get to know each other will help. We go about our things the right way in our preparation. Every rep we get together is a huge rep as far as our practice week, because they have been limited and we haven't been able to get them throughout the whole season. So the only thing we can do is improve is our mindset. We haven't played well. We haven't done what we wanted to do. We feel like the only way is up, and that'll show.
Has the offense been have you guys been discouraged? I mean, as an offensive unit, not just after the games, but going through these weeks lately?
Most definitely, my brother. It's you put everything into your project and you don't get the result you want. You're gonna be discouraged, So you probably would be, and that's what the boat we're in. We put everything into this, and we haven't got what we wanted to out of it. So it's been tough, but we got to keep rolling, and that's why we're paid to do what we do.
What about their defense overall? I asked you about the corners.
Their DB group is. We feel like the strength of their defense. A lot of young guys that fly around. It's multiple defense. We're going to get a lot of different looks based on what they fear in your team. So as far as watching film and stuff like that, we've watched it to try and anticipate what look we're going to get instead of watching it knowing we're going to get the exact same look, because they're probably not going to guard us like that. And that's been the mindset this week. For our prep.
How long did it take you to get over that last week's game? Because I know you looked so down after the game.
How long did it take me to get over it?
Yeah.
I'm still not over it. I ain't gonna fake. I hate losing, but I don't really get over it. It's just as far as what I can give, and how I have to go about my business. It's not like I can, what's the word I'm looking for? Think about it too much. But I'm never over that. I like to resort back to that to figure out why we lost, because it'll show up again, and I don't want to be a repeat offender of mistakes I made, of mistakes we made. So you can't lose sight of it, but you gotta be able to bounce back, and having that taste in your mouth and reminding yourself that will hopefully catapult us to get it done this week. Whatever it takes, whatever mindset you need to have to get it done.
Is your elbow going to be bothering you the rest of the season, or is this a factor?
Yeah, we'll evaluate after the season's over. But I know what I'm getting into with it now, and I'm going to be out there.
Karen, I wasn't here for the beginning.
No worries.
Who'd you lose the bet to? I don't know if you spoke.
I lost a few bets. I lost to Caroline. So me and Rucker are in some Michigan gear today, and that's how it should be. But next year it ain't going to be this way, and she's had to deal with some losing seasons too. So that's how it goes. Rivalry.
How much did it hurt just putting it on?
It hurts right now. I know that. I'm trying to cover it up a little bit. Be standing like this. It hurts, man. I can't lie. I've never had these colors on before. They don't feel good on me. They probably don't look good, but I lost the bet. Yeah, I'm a man of my word. Got to put it on.
That is true. I saw that. I was excited. Caught me off guard yesterday a little bit.
How does it feel to have Aaron back in the building?
Oh, it feels great. I mean, his superpower, I think, is not necessarily how he throws the football or how he runs an offense out there, but just how he is with the team, how he approaches everyone, how he pushes everyone, just with his presence.
What kind of impact can he have on Tim? I mean, they know each other so well, and obviously Tim's been starting out the second game in a row. How can he help him?
Oh, I think just support and confidence. All of us have been together for a long time when you look at Tim and Aaron and myself, and I think that's always going to help. But it also helps all those other guys to inspire confidence into them. So I think anytime a guy like Aaron Rodgers is around, it's going to help everyone that he surrounds himself with.
Nate, what would it mean to you personally if things fall into place and he's able to play again?
I can't even look there right now. We're getting ready for Atlanta, getting Tim and all these guys ready to get after them.
What are you seeing from Brees right now?
Brees is doing good. I think across the board, I think everybody's pressing a little bit. I think Brees is sometimes looking for a big hitter and trying to spring that down the field 80-yard touchdown that he's totally capable of. But those come within those small yardage plays first, and being able to lower your pads and get downhill and get a couple of those plays. So I think that we just got to get into a rhythm and get more plays.
We talked about him start scuffling a little bit. Have you thought about giving more carries to Dalvin or to Izzy? And just trying to find a hot hand.
We want to give everybody the ball. Whether it's running the ball, we want to get everybody livened up, whether it's in the pass game or the run game. To do that, we got to get some more first downs.
We talked about Tim, but just how has Trevor Siemian been, and just how he's picked up the offense since he got here?
He's done a really, really good job. Todd and Rob have worked, really hard with him, and for him, I think it's that extra time that he spends with Tim in those meeting rooms. The two of those guys grinding with Zach right there. I think it's really good watching them prepare day in and day out with the plan, with the defenses, asking great questions. So not only does he help Tim prepare and Zach prepare, but he at the same time, he really has picked it up well.
When you guys look at the struggles that you're having offensively, do you feel like you need to do what you do better, or do you feel like you guys need to do something differently?
It's a combination of a lot of things. We're all pressing, and it starts with me, and I have to stop that. I think that for us, regardless of what we do, regardless of what play it is, we all have to execute better, and we have to come up with better plays. So I think it's a combination, because you're always searching when you're not getting exactly what you want out there. We go into every game plan and we feel great about what we have. The guys feel great, and unfortunately some of the things have not worked, and it's frustrating. And we've talked about this now for a couple weeks, and it's like, you just want to get the guys in a rhythm, because they work so hard. Everybody works so hard, and we never want to stay stagnant and say, hey, continually do the same thing over and over again. But you do want to build a foundation. So it's one of those things. We just want to put them in the best position possible and give them some confidence.
What went into Allen being active, and how do you think he handled that once he's been like this week too?
I think coaches address that. We're excited to have him up this week, and we just, all of us have to get better. All of us have to stop pressing. We have to execute whatever play that we're trying to run there, and Allen has to get better. I have to get better. All of us do.
Yeah, you talked about you had an offense that was pretty much tailored to one guy, and it took a while to get it to fit somebody else, another different quarterback. If Aaron comes back, can it just automatically go right back to where it was?
I think we'll discuss that when we get there, if we get there.
You said you're pressing. How do you press as a coach?
Sometimes it's experimenting with too many new things instead of building a foundation, or trying to take too many shots, or try to get unique runs instead of just letting those guys go to work. So I think as a coach, we're always looking from within first, because that's what we can control. There's so many things that we can't control when they go out on that field, that you want to do everything you can for those guys. So sometimes you just have to let them go out and play. And give them the looks, and trust that they're going to execute it. And I think that's where I got to be with them.
What stands out about Atlanta?
They're very multiple, very game plan specific, and very multiple. And it causes a lot of communication that needs to go out on the field. And I think that's one thing that we're really pressing this week, is to be able to adjust to all the different things we could possibly see. They could play different personnel groupings. Like I said, 10 different fronts. So you want to try to keep it as simple as you can, so that Tip and Tim both of those guys can communicate, because if we can communicate and get everybody on the same page, we'll do some good things.
What are you seeing from this secondary? Because obviously they made some big plays last week too as well.
They're very good. The two corners on the outside are probably the most aggressive corners that I've seen all year. They are press up in your face, and they're playing you man coverage, whether it's zone or man. They want to get after you. So I think it's going to be a great challenge for our wide receivers to have to go versus the man coverage. And those safeties, they do a great job reading the quarterback's eyes. They will run downhill and disregard certain areas, but they make some great plays. The pick six, it was a heck of a play by that safety. And so we're just going to have to be disciplined in what we do and beat that press coverage.
There's been a lot of changes on offense. Quarterback benching, other players, one player being released.
As a coach to a fan base, how do you tell this fan base that everything's going to be okay, it's going to work out in the end, when we really haven't seen a lot of changes from an execution standpoint and from a points basis?
For us, it's about opportunity. It's about guys growing. It's about being a young team. It's about giving them the experience to actually go out there and play football in live situations. So for us, I mean, any experience you can get on the field is priceless. And to see some of these young guys go out there, a bunch of rookies, I mean, what Tip has seen in the past couple of weeks is the most he's ever seen in his entire life. And watching him respond is unbelievable. I mean, he soaks everything in and wants to learn more, and he's getting better. And I think that's the key. It might not look like it at times because there's certain, whether we're taking turns or it's somebody else, it's about that experience and growing so they can continually get better. So I think that's what we're always looking for, and that's why we've been able to give a lot of young guys. I know looking out there at one point, there was a lot of first and second year players out there, but it wasn't too big for them, and they battled that whole game. They didn't care what the situation was. They were enjoying playing with each other and going out there, and all we're going to see is them get better.
What should have been done differently on the Hail Mary?
I know Coach Sala addressed that one. Hail Marys are very unique, and there were a couple things that happened there. But those are things that we're going to have to continually practice and go through.
Can you practice that?
As well as you can.
Right. What do you want to see, or what do you hope to see for the Tip this time?
Just continually operating the huddle, operating the line of scrimmage, and getting the ball out of his hand and making good decisions. I thought he did a lot of good things, especially once we were out there for a while. For us, like we've talked about, it's about third down to be able to get everybody in a rhythm. And he hadn't been out there in a real live situation in a long time, and we were on a short week. But I thought there was a lot of things that he saw well, especially for all the dramatic looks that was given to him. So I'm excited for him to have another opportunity.
What's your philosophy, Nate, when it comes to trick plays, gadget plays? You tried the one in Vegas. I think people look at a struggling offense and say, why don't they try this, why don't they try that? But what's your philosophy?
We want to try anything and everything. We want to be sure that we're giving ourselves a chance to get explosive plays. I think there's always a place for those, but sometimes when you look at those, there's certain pieces that go around to be able to get that done and executed, and there's certain things that a defense can do that can make that not very good. I think we ran one versus Kansas City also, and it ended up not being good. And so you want to do those, and those are exciting, but they have to be a premier look. So some of those have been called, but they might not have come to life because we had to check out of it because there was not an advantageous look.
And how have you seen defenses covering Garrett differently as the season's gone on, and you haven't had a second wideout step up? And is there a way to help him schematically without, or is it just somebody else has to step up and take pressure off him?
I think it always helps when you have somebody across that's going to relieve some from him. I think everybody around here knows we want to get Garrett the ball, and I think it starts by converting on third down and getting more plays so we can do more things to him. So that's us as an entire unit first and foremost. But no, there's ways to be able to move him around and all kinds of different things we can do to help him, especially if people are going to be tracking him.